Okay, hello there, I am Richard, and I've decided to make this video because we got inspired from one of my friends, Semicolon on YouTube as well. So, since it's like 11, because I'm also staying up past my curfew and hyperfixating on things. So, campaign or book first? Let's go campaign. Because I am a DM, so I like making a lot of lore and building stuff, which my players always ignore. The curse of being a DM. And so, my newest campaign is based off my first campaign, Sunslayer, which is also played with the same group that's going to play my new one. Sunslayer is basically about how the world, like how the sun was literally about to kill itself. And so these characters had to quite literally gather ingredients, make a spell under the work of the sun god Azeroth, not like the eldritch deity Azathoth, Azeroth. And yeah, basically what after they did that, the pocket dimension, the final boss fight was set in, kind of imploded on itself. They were trapped in what it was let me explain. So basically, the main antagonist was this darkness god named Nox, who was destroying the sun and making it kill itself. So with that, it kind of did so basically, he's not really a god, he's just a master illusionist and made like the entirety of reality believe he's a god. Other than that, he is not really a god. But yeah, they find him in a pocket dimension, and that was not his, because he is not a god. He cannot make pocket dimensions. He stole it. And what used to be in this is the new BBEG for my new campaign. The Seer. Basically, it's like this ancient primordial deity thing that, like, how do I say it? The looks of it was inspired off, like, Seek from Doors, if you know what that is. But yeah. The Seer did not really like magic people or monsters. It did not like those people. Get with the times, Seer. It's 2026, bro. But anyways. After that, the Seer kind of got freed because they also got out, destroying the pocket dimension. Seer freed. So now they are about to go on their world-ending plan, which somehow took about 10 years, so the players were able to retire and make a high school academy university thing, where the new campaign takes place, like, right after that, to protect, Monster and Magicine. Basically how the school works is accept you if you're, like, a really powerful monster, or, like, the best of the best in your class if you are a human, because all classes are associated with magic at this point. Am I wrong? And with that, you see how do I say 10 years later, or right, 11 years later, basically this is when the thing starts. The school starts up. They were all accepted there, and explaining this Fantasia University, as I said, academy place, kindergarten to college, and so they really train only in magic and stuff, like in their class. They don't really do the math or reading. So yeah, they don't really do math or reading. Sorry if that sounded crazy, I had to pause the video. But yeah, they mainly just focus on what their class or monster kind can do with magic. And basically the plot of this campaign is the Seer broke out and is now about to start possessing students in this school, because they're using a spy to kind of how do I say it, by kind of insert themselves into the school to start possessing and eventually killing students. And so our main characters, along with a few NPCs, the NPCs aren't really that important, but still. I don't know how to do the thing, but eh. But yeah. And then basically what happens there is basically you have to find the spy, find out how to stop the possession, and how to kill the seer itself. There, I'll also talk about some of the important NPCs. You got Felix, the son of a noble from this world. He was actually quite chill. Like, very chill. He's like a classic dude. Just a dude. I'm not popular still though, because he's handsome. And we got Lyra, who is now Felix's girlfriend, and also a artificer and necromancer, who is, kind of has a weird obsession with ramen and probably mentally ill, yeah. We have Tide, my personal favorite, because the dude is a half minotaur, half mermaid, but somehow, for looks, he got the human half of both, but got the physiology of both as well, giving him superhuman strength, swimming, water breathing, singing, stuff like that. He actually is a swim team leader at his school. At the school. And he's quite a chill dude. I'd say Jerry may be a bit cocky at times and sarcastic, but I have Alice, the more serious human artificer, the youngest of like 9, and yeah, no, not the youngest, the oldest. Sorry, I forget things. The oldest of 9, basically had to babysit like all of her siblings. Yeah. But I also want to tell you how you get into the school with an EOS, an event of summons. Basically like a core event where Fantasia Unity scouts you out because you did something extremely powerful. And the characters will be able to make their own and stuff like that. And I really like how that may give like role-playing standards, stuff like that. Bibbidi bobbidi boop. But yeah, that's about it for that campaign. And now on to the book. This may take a while. So basically, the book I'm working on, A Second Till Midnight, the beginning of a series, which will then become a bunch of series to like create a bit of a lore web. Basically, the first book is about how like the world's kind of ending because of the evil god, like this evil god Fate, he's just pure evil, just wants to see the world burn, stuff like that. And 2 World War III veterans, because this is set in 2036, have to save the world and kind of work with the gods. Just not work with Poppy, which is one of the 2 World War III veterans, because before she was a war veteran, she had issues with the gods, because kind of got banished because of a revolution against the god she used to serve, who is Destiny, goddess of intelligence, water, and stuff like that. By the way, Fate is the god of fire and war and stuff like that as well. Forgot to mention that. And there's Balance, the head honcho. Those are the main 3 important gods for now. Balance is basically the father of Destiny and Fate and a few other gods and goddesses and deities. Because non-binary. And fun fact, Balance is entirely ace. He did not make his kids sexually at all. He does not have any desire for that stuff. In fact, he made Destiny his oldest daughter, and the one Poppy has a bit of a spite for because of Revolution thing. And he made her out of the waters of the earth. And so yeah, then he made Fate from the core of a dying star, and etc, stuff like that, symbolism, I guess. But basically, Jack and Poppy both. Oh yeah, by the way, Jack is the other one. Used to be a rich boy, was a medic in World War III, severe PTSD, specifically from World War III, because who would not have PTSD if you never saw war before in your life and then suddenly you have to kill a man? That would majorly screw this guy up, who's basically, how do I say this? A himbo, yeah, himbo. Very kind, very cool himbo. And then Poppy's basically the more chaotic of the two, a bit more sarcastic. She's British. And what did I mention? She's, yeah, she's British. She's American, I guess. And so basically, what they're supposed to do is like go for the first book. They're going all the way to Chicago to basically meet another person they need to save the world, because it's not just those two. He'll be introducing more characters. And after that series is over, and the other two books in that series are, finished, which I will not be telling about. Nice try. And so basically, once those two are finished, I'm gonna work on the prequel book Shell Shock, which is basically about World War III. The other books, stuff like that. Other books, few prequels, extra sequels, a bunch of lesbians, gay people. Yeah, almost no one is straight in this book, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, almost no one is straight. I don't know why I said that, but it's my hyperfixation. I get to say what I want, I guess. But yeah, that's about all that for the book. And I'm also writing a show right now. I just remember that. Yes, my brain tends to go boom, 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 boom a lot with ideas, maintaining a constant train of thought. And this one's called The Adventures of Past, Present, and Future, which is basically an author, a historian, and a graduated college student get a time machine, which basically just is how to explain, like a car time machine. They drive about. They quite literally just drive across the timeline to go to the specific points. But yeah, all of them also have nicknames based on their, things. We have Present, who is basically one of the main characters out of the three. Present is more grounded. The author character can be sweet, can be a bit chaotic, just like her graduate brother, Maddie, or Future, who's a bit more chaotic. Probably tried fist fighting every historical figure you could think of at least once. And he does learn to control himself in the future of this series. And then we have Past, who's a bit more like the sweet character. Ellen or Past, very sweet character, adorable historian girl. And she just really likes history. And I think I forgot to say, Present, their name is Shelley. And, oh yeah, I forgot, there's also actually, should I tell them about the machine's operating interface? I'm gonna explain the time cruiser first. Basically, the time cruiser, which was invented by Maddie right after he graduated college, because he got a little high, because I feel like he would do that, accidentally made a time machine. I don't know how he accidentally did it. He just somehow did it. And, so basically, he accidentally made the time machine, which is basically like a spaceship car thing, which has, like, living quarters for them as well, and so technically driving across time, so it takes time, like a lot of things do. There's a lot of, like, 24-hour to week-long journeys across time if you're going really, 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 really far back. And, yeah. There's a lot about that. I'm really excited to almost finish this, pilot script. So I think that's going to be a really good series, and I think that's about it. Bye. Left riding out. See ya.